Welcome to InTouch, dedicated to real estate professionals worldwide. We're here to educate you, entertain you, and empower you in all facets of real estate. Are you ready for the latest news, trends, and market updates? Then it's time to get in touch. Welcome back to the show. Today we are in Rule 4 of the 7 Steps to Powerful Paychecks series. And this is a special rule because this is something that's not necessarily tactical, but very strategic. And that is create memorable moments. And we've all been influenced by memorable moments in our lives. Writers would refer to this as a defining moment, something that's happened in your life that has transformed you, or a decision that was made that sent you on a new course, a new destiny. So today we're going to talk about creating memorable moments for your clientele. And we're within the framework of step 1 within 7 steps. And step 1 is the initial contact. It's that first impression that you make on someone. So if you can leave a lasting impression, create a memorable moment that they would never forget, the first time that they meet you, you have a high probability of retaining that customer as a client. Let's start today with a verse. So encourage each other and build each other up, just as you are already doing. Make your first impression count. A memorable moment in any business relationship is the initial face-to-face contact. The first visual encounter leaves a permanent impression on each prospective client. Your enthusiasm to meet the prospect for the first time will set the tone of the relationship from day 1. Now, if the prospect is any type of referral from another relationship, the first impression is even more important. And why is that? That's because someone has gone out on a limb and told that lead that you're the person. So be enthusiastic. After you introduce yourself, show your enthusiasm and passion for what you do, and be excited to help your new prospective client. Make them feel your enthusiasm, which will reassure them right away they're working with someone who is truly excited and honored to assist them. So Gary, when you meet your client, your customers, if you will, because the difference between a customer and a client, customer is somebody you're meeting for the first time in hopes that they will turn into a client. What are some of the ways that you create memorable moments, and how do you leave that lasting first impression?
Yeah, great question. It's a tongue twister. Great question, Andrew. And I'm glad you brought this up. Yeah, definitely the first initial contact, whether it's at someone's home or at a coffee shop or wherever you've decided to meet them, that's going to dictate whether you're going to be working with them for the next months or years, or maybe that relationship should not continue and you found out that maybe this client is not going to be right for you and how you conduct your business. So it's really important that you come with a smiling face, that you have a strong grip in your handshake, that you dress properly, because they do look at what you're wearing, your shoes, your appearance. Did you comb your hair? Did you brush your teeth? You don't want to go in there with buffalo breath, but you do want to make that first impression lasting.
Yeah, I'd like to say it like this, make sure you're completely hands-on, focused, and 100% present with the person you're speaking with. While this just may be another transaction for you, it is important to know that for the client, it feels like one of the largest transactions of their life, and that you are fully devoted and committed to giving them an amazing experience. And if you can think of one thing, I can think of it because I know you. I remember when we first met, right away, you left an impression on me of joy and humor, somebody that was upbeat and that was funny. And I didn't forget that. And for others, you may have a gift, a God-given talent that people tell you frequently that you've been given. And the question is, are you exercising that talent on day one, the first time that you meet somebody? And are you strategically thinking about it? How am I going to leave a great first impression on this person? Because one relationship can transform your career. You never know when you're going to meet somebody who has the means and the ability to transform your career, or the ability to introduce you to someone in their network that can transform your career. So, my suggestion is to be thinking with that mindset every time you meet somebody, as if you were going to meet the president. How would you dress? How would you act? How would you speak? So, present yourself professionally. And when meeting somebody face to face for the first time, have a genuine smile on your face, that confident handshake while making eye contact, and establish a good relationship. Desire to know more about the people you meet rather than speaking about yourself, because people can't wait to tell you who they are and share their worldview. Ask for their full name. Verify the proper pronunciation. I can't tell you how important that is. When I'm with a colleague and we meet somebody and they're butchering the person's name right off the bat again and again and again, and I know it, they don't know it, the client knows it, it's embarrassing. So slow down. If it's a name that is difficult to pronounce or you're not sure, clarify it. Ask them. They will be respected and honored that you actually took the time to ask, especially difficult to pronounce last names. That shows that instant respect, and it makes them feel familiar to you. So get to know what their lives are about, where they come from, what they do, how many children they have, what their children's names are. Information like this makes the conversation real and lets the clients know that you care. It suggests that you'll be doing business for the long term if you're asking those questions. So the framework here, as you're hearing, is like an internal script. We all practice scripts in our business, but having this internal script that just flows naturally. Gary, tell me, what's your internal script when you first meet with clients? Do you have a series of questions? How do you go through the icebreakers and get that level of familiarity?
Yeah, it's really easy, Andrew, and there's nothing I have to remember other than ask questions about themselves, ask questions about their children, like you'd said before. Sometimes you don't get to meet the husband and wife at the first meeting. So if you're meeting with the wife, I was lucky to have a meeting last week, and the wife was in town. The husband was not. He was taking care of business elsewhere, but she brought her children, and her children were in the meeting. She wanted them to sit down and meet with me and get to know me. So that was easy. I got to know the children, and they were excited about being in San Diego and taking trips to LA to go to Disneyland. And so, gosh, that was a really easy one. I don't think we even spoke about what they really wanted in a house, because I know they wanted to buy a house on the coast, until maybe 30 minutes into the conversation. We were just talking about their lives, their kids, what they want to do. So, you want to make it as natural as possible. And most of those things are going through my head on the drive to the appointment to meet that person, this particular person, I didn't even know what they look like. Those things you need to just kind of practice in your head on the way over, but they're pretty simple.
Yeah. And when meeting that new prospect who doesn't know you or trust you, and it's face to face for the first time, having that internal script prepared for the initial communication is critical, because just as you mentioned, you can get carried away, and it's normal and natural, and you want it to be organic so that you show you're a human being and talk about whatever they bring up. But at the same token, you do want to focus. You don't want to allow an hour to go by or longer. We've all been there. We've been trapped in these meetings where people are talking about subjects that are so irrelevant to really why you're getting together. And so you want to have that pre-prepared set of questions to ask the prospect and have them memorized to bring the conversation back into focus, to direct and lead. This allows you to focus on the answers in order to qualify the prospect, to make sure this prospect is suitable for your product or service. In our case, that's real estate, making sure they're qualified. This also helps the prospect feel like you know what you're doing and you know what you're talking about. And this helps build your credibility. And most importantly, it will help you guide your time together, as we talked about, to maximize the efficiency and make sure you are not burning your very valuable time with someone who's unqualified, that's just curious, that wants to chat. And also show others how much you care. Always remain relational with your clients. Just because you completed a transaction doesn't mean it's the end of the business relationship. It should be viewed as the beginning of your relationship. And this is an important principle to consider, because this is a mind shift for so many who view their clients as transactions, bouncing from one deal to the next. So looking at your previous clients, I don't like to use the word past clients. There's nothing past about anybody, right? But your previous clients as investment opportunities for your future, not your past clients. These are previous clients, and they are investment opportunities. So stay in contact. Let them know that you're thinking about them often, whether that's sending a holiday card, a quick phone call to see how they're doing. Bottom line, you're checking on them often. And remember, when you do call with a script, you want to make sure that that's not interpreted as just trying to get the next sale. I get this question so often from agents and brokers around the country. I don't know what to say. I've already called them. I've asked them for referrals. I don't know what to say. And my response is just be yourself. Be a human being. Check in with them. How are they doing personally? How have you been? I've been thinking about you lately. What have you been up to? It's really as simple as that. Naturally, business will come into the conversation at some point. But as Theodore Roosevelt once said, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So let's get back to these memorable moments. And we'll use social media, Gary, as an illustration, because I know you're a heavy Instagram user. You enjoy posting and sharing your memorable moments. I actually got to film one of the most memorable moments on your feed when we were together at a beachfront house fishing. You had cast a line, waves were breaking, and you literally hooked a huge fish. I couldn't believe my eyes, and the fact that I was filming was even better. Unfortunately, that fish got away. But the point is, that was a memorable moment. That was an incredibly memorable moment. And we captured it. There was visual communication available for a post. And you tell me, because I don't spend much time on social media, but from what I understand, from what you've told me, that has captured a lot of attention and got a lot of views. So, classic example, how do you use visual communication for your memorable moments?
Yeah, funny that particular time and moment where it was just me and you, and I was in a pair of jeans and a flip-flop, and I got a new lure, and I decided to go down the stairs to the ocean, and you happened to be filming it, and I said, well, here, watch this. And I threw out this new lure, goes out into the surf. The waves are crashing because it's super high tide. And yeah, hook up on a big fish. I didn't expect that, and tried to bring it in, got it close to the wall as the water's breaking. And as I reach down, it's on video. You can see the fish's mouth, and then it just snaps. And I'm like, what happened? So I took that video and I sent it to the gentleman that owns the company, Battlestar. And that particular lure was a new lure, and he was trying to get it out there that, hey, this lure works. So he put it up on his YouTube, he put it up on his Instagram, and it's been kind of viral ever since. I think he gets the most hits off that particular small, was probably minute and a half, and he cut it down, and it's still on YouTube with probably more than thousands and thousands of views. So every once in a while it will pop up on Instagram. But if you take key moments like that and you can actually cut them down into small reels or posts, or even a picture that creates action, and you put that up, that will create more conversations than if you put up, I've got a new listing, or I just closed a property. Most people really don't care. They do want to know that you're in real estate, but they want to see what you're doing in your life. So those life moments are what you capture. And I think about each week, I usually post three life moments or somewhere that I ate or something that I did. And if I capture that moment, I'll put it up and I'll have lots of people responding, "Oh, hey, where was that? What did you do? How big was that fish?" or whatever it was. So that's the key. Don't worry about real estate. They're going to know you're in real estate once they get to know you, but they're not going to get to know you by, "I have an open house from 1 to 4 on Sunday. Come see me," or "I've got a new listing." That, you know, they know you're in real estate. They really don't care about that. So make it personal.
Great advice. And with everybody and their mother vying for attention and likes and engagement and views in this modern day world we find ourselves, your creativity and uniqueness is paramount to stand out. And I don't know if people know this, but the number one type of video or post that goes viral is satire. And so the internet at large loves satire. They just love it. They love comedy. They love any illustration that brings out irony and humor. So think about that when you're posting. And if you don't find yourself as somebody that comes across those moments, well, then find other people or share other posts that are really funny and bring out that level of engagement so people get to know that there's this human element of you. But use visual communication. That's the bottom line. Use visual communication to create those special moments. As Fred Barnard once said, we've all heard this quote, "A picture is worth more than 1,000 words." So get comfortable communicating through video. Take every opportunity to practice, to be on camera, present, and get up in front of groups to speak so that it becomes second nature. Most people do not like to be on camera. I get it. It took me a lot of practice, a lot of time to get that comfortability. And most people don't like the way they look or the way that they sound. But a friend of a friend once said, "Everybody already knows what you sound like and look like. It's not a surprise. It may be a surprise to you, but not to everybody else." So the secret's out. So it'd be a mistake that being on video or, providing that level of content to the public and to your clients is not necessary. In today's day and age, it is par for the course. If you're going to play in the business world, you are going to need to communicate visually, which at this stage requires being on video. Now, although that saying that I just discussed, a picture is worth 1,000 words, that became popular in the early 1900s. Remember, in the early 1900s, there was just photographs. That's it. And this is black and white, and color wasn't even on the scene. But I do feel that it's more relevant nowadays than ever before. And that is because the fact is people are speaking orally less and less these days. Instead of choosing electronic, they're choosing instead electronic communication through text or email. So the verbal communication's being cut down. It's harder and harder to get a hold of people on the phone. So that means your digital footprint and your image are becoming increasingly more important. Your online presence is now part of your initial contact with prospects. And it's the preface to your script, whether you like it or not. Because if they see your online presence and they make certain assumptions, which they will make judgments based on what they find online. If what they find online is not up to date, it's not accurate, it's not relevant, and it's not a genuine reflection of who you truly are, there's a good chance they will make the choice not to meet you. So get your online presence up to date, accurate, relevant, make sure it's a genuine reflection of who you are. And this will make booking your appointments much, much easier. Most prospects will take the time to review you online before they would even consider making an appointment with you. So your social media profiles, your online validations or testimonials, any other content that you publish. Google yourself, figure it out, look at your social media channels, go back, go deep into your own history. Does it truly reflect who you are today? Because people want to know you before they actually get to know you. This is a heavy trend. I don't see it stopping anytime soon. And if you do it right, this way, the people feel like they know you when they meet you, and there's that familiarity already established. So, Gary, let's talk about your personal situation, your profiles. You've taken this head on. We've worked on it together for the better part of a decade. And I know that you pay attention, you're conscious of it. I believe that's why you've had so much success with the younger generation or even the kids of your clients, where they see that you're relevant. You're not just, aging out of a business, but you're actually relevant. They can feel connected to you. I referred a family to you recently, and you not only helped the mother and father that are in their 60s, but you also helped their kids, three of them, in their 30s, and they felt equally as connected. When I followed up back with them, they felt, wow, this guy is relevant. He's cool. I want to work with him. So how do you do it, and how important is it for those listeners who don't feel like their online presence is up to par to make that a priority ASAP?
Yeah, you're correct, Andrew. You definitely, it's something that you have to work at. And I think these days, if you're not on LinkedIn or you're not using LinkedIn, that's where people go to look to see if you're a professional. If you're in a business like we are, you can, of course, have a website that AARE gives you for free that's professional. That's a given. But if that's all you're doing, then you're probably missing out, because people will check you on Yelp, they'll check you on Google, they'll check you on LinkedIn, Facebook, blah, 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 Instagram, and it just goes on and on. So you need to be on at least 2 to 3 different social media sites and updating it. I update myself. I Google myself probably at least once a week to see, if I type in Gary Giffen Realtor, where do I land? And if on the side, if I'm pulling that up and I see that Yelp is pulling me up, Realtor.com, LinkedIn, and people are now finding me on our own AARE website, because we've been up for many, many years, which is great, because if you look at our website, it's very professional, and you can really kind of show who you are on that website, what listings, what sales. People can use it for a search. So I try to make sure that Angel, who is our media expert, has my latest listings or what I'm doing up on the website. So you do need to be relevant. You do need to work at it. It's not going to just happen. And if you don't touch it, guess what? You just go away. There are plenty of real estate agents out there that do post and do blogs and things like that. So even a brand new agent can be relevant within 3 or 4 weeks with just some doing a few key social media outlets, and discussing what they're up to and what they're doing, and who they are and who's their family and what they like to do. Pretty easy to do, but if you don't work at it, guess what? Now you're Casper. You would just go away.
It's amazing to me that in this season of our careers, it has never been easier or less expensive to do profound advertising and marketing. It's free, essentially. It's really just up to your creativity. So it is separating people that struggle with creative posts or creative ways to create these memorable moments, and those that just want this automagical post that's somehow going to transform their business. It doesn't exist. People are looking for that authenticity. So it is within you. Only you can answer the question what these memorable moments are, because it has to reflect you. There's nothing we could share today that would say, oh, if you just do this. And sadly, people get sold constantly with what we call the shiny objects. and they buy this program and that program, and they're listening to this person that's telling them, just post this, just post that, just sign up for this software, and then it's all going to be good. It's going to automatically work. Wrong. It's not going to work. What is going to work is you being yourself and sharing with people what's going on and being an information source. People do want to know what's happening with real estate. They love real estate. It's like the number one cocktail conversation. What's going on with the market? And so you want to embed that stuff, but ultimately just share your human experience and you're going to do just fine. So as you progress in your career, you will come to realize how important it is to brand your product, your service, yourself in the most cutting edge professional way possible. And video is that unique and relatable way to share who you are with your clients at a moment in history when people crave personal attention. Video gives you the ability to create special moments by allowing you to share and present images to your clients. And be creative. Figure out ways to grab your client's attention. You know your network better than myself or Gary. You know those interests. And when you communicate through video, and if you feel like you're struggling with that, well, then do it through pictures. That's fine, but something visual, you will see the results. So we have a paycheck principle at the end of each one of these lessons and each rule. We have a paycheck principle. So paycheck principle number 4 is memorable moments separate you from the competition. Now let's wrap up with a value in focus. We look at beliefs and values at the end of these sessions here. And today's, and this is about shaping your character. So we're going to be looking at the value in focus, which is beliefs. Your beliefs will help you create these memorable moments. So as you reflect on ways to create these unforgettable connections with people, consider how your belief system and believing for something before it happens can help you master this rule. So I believe the most important life-changing decision a person will ever make is that of personal faith. To believe or not to believe, what to believe, and how to carry out those beliefs. Without belief in yourself and in the fact that your God-given talents are blessed by a higher authority, without belief in yourself and in the fact that your God-given talents are blessed by a higher authority, you set yourself up for failure from the start. Memorable moments are created through belief, thoughtful prayer, planning, and realized imagination. And there's power in memorable moments. So Gary, I know you're a man of faith. And when you think about the illustration we gave earlier, we didn't plan on it. We were out there having fun, believing that we were going to capture something special. And lo and behold, we did. There's a huge fish that came out of the ocean. That was so cool. That was a memorable moment, a realized imagination. What are some of the other memorable moments that you can offer? And what are your thoughts about how important belief in what's about to happen is for those listening?
Yeah, every day is a gift from God that you get to wake up, put your feet on the ground, and move forward. We're all here for a reason, and hopefully you know that reason why you're here, because someday you will be asked, did you believe in me? Or if you didn't, how come? Because you're going to meet your maker soon. And I'm noticing as the years go by that time is just moving so quickly, especially these days. I think since COVID 2020, it seems like that was 10 years ago, but it wasn't. It was only a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. So time is moving very quickly. And so every day you go out, whether you're going to go out and have lunch with somebody, make memories of that particular time that you have together with other people. And it's really easy to do. And it's just talking to people and finding out where they are and how you can help them. Very, very, very simple to do. But just remember why you're here on earth what you were here, why you were put here. Everybody's got talents, like you had mentioned, Andrew. Um, and if you don't know what those talents are, um, call me and we'll figure it out. It's actually probably pretty easy. So, um, yeah, everybody should know why they're put on this earth.
We've been given an incredible privilege in our industry to be with people through a very transitional period in their life and a life-changing transaction for people. This is providing shelter, providing dreams. There's so many moments throughout this process, although they may be stressful, that lead to a moment of glory, whether that's delivering a brand new property to somebody, maybe a family moving in, or relieving somebody of a property that's become a burden, or an investment that has done well. And there's the flip side of the coin. Sometimes those moments are tough too, and it doesn't always end with roses and champagne. But when you reflect on your own experiences in life, you can pretty much sum up those big defining moments as a series of memories. And those moments were powerful. And this is why creating memorable communication can have such a profound impact on a prospect and leave such a lasting impression. I can't count how many people I run into that I did business with 20 years ago. And they say, "Oh my gosh, honey, do you remember when Andrew XYZ? And then we did ABC, and that was the result." And they're still glowing about something that happened 20 years ago. And they remembered that one moment because what we do is so impactful in people's lives. So think of creative ways to make your presence known that will bring a smile to those around you. And let go of living in the past or living for the future. Live in the present. Stop, I like to say it like this: stop believing for a better tomorrow. Start believing in a better today and create a memorable moment. So let's wrap up with what I call a path to progress and mastering your BS, right? We all have these behavior and skills. That's what the BS stands for. But how do we master our behavior and skills? Desire to watch your speech. These are all biblical principles. Desire to watch your speech. Choose to bring life with your tongue. Decide to commit yourself to being taught and listen well to words of wisdom. The result is a wise person's words will make knowledge attractive. And the promise is that using too many words will make you foolish. And words of wisdom, these come out of Proverbs. Wise words are like deep waters. Wisdom flows from the wise like a bubbling brook. And here's some questions to meditate on this week. Do you speak life into others? How do you create special moments for clients? Are your communication skills appealing to others? And do you listen more than you talk? And finally, your call to action. Always be aware, manage your words, create special memories. We hope the message has blessed you today and look forward to catching you on the next episode.